Hi Flash Tube, it's Diane. I'm gonna try it with my earbuds today, so the blue light, because I speak softly. We'll see if this. I had some sound issues with my WIP Parade Part 1. Maybe this will help it, because this is WIP Parade Part 2. Two. A lot of these are in zippy bags, so there's going to be crinkle, just fair warning. I have no clue how many are here, but on my WIP Parade number 1, I did go back in the description box and list all the WIPs I showed, because I named a couple fabrics wrong, particularly We the People. That's not from Fiberlicious, that's from Fabric Flair. But if you have questions on what I was stitching them on, even the ones that are kitted and not started, I put it all there. So it should all be there, in case you're interested in any of those projects. Here, I don't know, there's a lot of Miras and Noras because I've met Nora. She's a fabulous person. I love her designs, all the things. And I'm not sure what else is here. Again, I'm not showing anything I showed for School of Magical Stitches video. December, I think I showed those. I'm not showing any of those, and I'm not showing any progress because I have some progress on 2 of my WIPs this month. Neither of them are my WIPCO. My WIPCOs are just not calling to me. But that's okay. They're year-long goals. They will call to me later. So let's jump in. WIP number 1 for part 2 is, and again, crinkle, Filipina, Pearl of the Orient Seas. This is the first one I've stitched. I've purchased several of his patterns, and this is stitched on 32 count, Blew Me Away by Fiberlicious. I don't think I've tried her Luganas. Like, I've only done her linen, and I love her linen fabrics, in case you were ever wondering about her. And here's where I'm at on the tail. You can see the fin down there where it splits, but then this calls for a lot of metallics, which I think the pattern called for Kreinik, and I switched it to Petite Treasure Braid. It took me a little time to get those metallics, which is why I just have the DMC in there for right now. But it's a beautiful pattern. This one is not started yet. I don't know why. I bought this pattern in 2016. Snow Queen, Mirabilia. I bought the fabric 2016 in Cincinnati at the last Mirabilia retreat that was in Cincinnati. Witching Hour, Opalescent, 32 count linen, Under the Sea Fabrics. But for some reason, I was going to start this last year on my birthday in July, and I don't know, but instead of Whisper, I'm going to be using Silk Lame Braid instead of Whisper. I really liked the effect on Zelda when I stitched her last year, and I finished her. So this one is a Nora Corbett Angel White Trumpet. I looked up this flower, and this gets the personality of that flower. It is beautiful. Nora is genius. This is on 32 count Fiberlicious Midnight Splendor. I know I have the tag. Here it is. It was one of my fabric of the months. And again, I love stitching on her fabrics. And here's where I'm at. So a lot of Kreinik, that green, this kind of green between the main white and the main green area. There's a metallic in there, so there's a lot of Kreinik in this one. And this one I am actually using the Kreinik because I couldn't find a Petite Treasure Braid that I thought was comparable. Sometimes you can and sometimes you don't. And I have 2 needles on here because Whenever I use a needle for metallic, that's all I use it for. Metallic threads and invisible threads can put a little burr in the eye of your needle that will damage cotton threads that you put back in there, or even silk. So like this one is for my cotton and this one is for my metallic. So I leave a little bit of metallic in there just so I remember that. And then if they get blemished or tarnished, the needles, bag I made. So I just, yeah, I don't use a certain brand for metallic needles. I just, when it's metallic, it's it. That's it. That's the rest of its life is metallic. This one, Huntsman Sampler by Brenda Keys. I love her patterns. Stitchville has a few of them, but I know that Inspired Needle has a lot of them. And then I follow her on Instagram, and she's been going through all her samplers. I'm going to have to purchase more of them. Most of them, at least the ones that I have purchased and looked at, are designed. One moment. Okay. Yeah, Inspired Needle. They show a number of her designs. And I've met Nancy and I've met Kathy. This one is not started, but it's going to be stitched on. This is just an antique white. It's a 32 count. Maybe it's a 36. I don't have a tag on it. That's weird. Must have just been in my stash. Or, wait a minute. Or it could be this one. This one is Flax. One of these two. I haven't started it yet, but it's charted for DMC. That's beautiful. This one, Rosewood Manor. Seasons of the Trees. I started over here in the spring part, and if you can see this, it's a big. I don't think it's as big as Forest of Trees or Forest Grew, which it's on my wish list. But all through this section, it goes spring, summer, autumn, winter, all the way around. That's the border. And then it shows what the tree, in this section, what the tree looks like in spring, summer, autumn, and winter. So if we look at this tree here, there it is in the spring, summer, autumn, winter. And the birds, there's birds between all the words. And I think the birds are more, because this is a robin, so you'd see that more in spring, summertime. And it goes around, so what you'd see more in winter, at least in the northern hemisphere. And I think this is really beautiful. It's charted for DMCs. And I love Karen's patterns. They're beautiful. I have to unpick something up in this area that I stitched because I messed up. But that's not Karen's fault. This is a 28 count Ivory Jobelan. Excuse me. You shouldn't chug a lot of water before doing these. So there it is. I must have unpicked it already, what I messed up. But you see a bird is forming. I don't have them all done, and another bird up here is starting. But the spring, yeah, that's winter going up that way. And this is the end of autumn here. But it's beautiful. All the trees have, so each type of tree, there's 4 of them. What they look like at various times of the year. And this, when I say DMC, 20, 40 plus 48 colors. Or maybe these are 22. 5, 10, 15. No, these are only 20. So 20, 40, 8 different colors. And I knot them together. I am stitching 2 over 2, and I do like my because I use the loop method, so I like having my threads longer when I'm storing them this way. So I just kind of loosely tie them in a knot to keep them a little more organized. But it's a beautiful pattern. This one is not started. This is Octopus Garden, Blackbird Designs. I did Yellow Submarine, and I passed that on to a friend. And this is 36 count Fathom, if I picture this plus. And I am not going to use necessarily the called for colors. I am going to use overdyed cottons, but I'm just going to pull from my stash. I've already pulled the colors, but I haven't started that one yet. This one is by Ink Circles, Tassel Walls. This one I am also using Planet Earth Silks, 1 strand over 2 threads, just a blue and a gray. The blue, I'll probably tell you what colors they are. So this is just a blank playing card. And then I punched a hole because I only need 2 colors. So I had this idea from Beth Twist in one of her videos. She had some playing cards made of some of her designs. And she said you could use them as thread drops. And I thought, oh, she's right, because they're thicker. They are also that kind of glossy. And they work really well. And then if you only wanted one, I use these sometimes and just cut them in half. And then put a big hole and the hole to put them on a ring. Just another idea to store your floss if you're looking for another idea. But the gray is Smoke by Planet Earth, and Stream is the blue. I think Gloriana is called for on this piece, but I can't see the back easily right now. This is 36 count Feldspar, so it is the called for color of fabric. And I have the center motif done, which is harder to see, but once I get the gray in there, it'll be easier. And on the original, that is true also. Because sometimes when you have a floss that's a little harder to see, what's around it can draw it out. This one is another Nora. Mira. This one is Queen Mermaid. This one was a birthday gift from a really good friend, and when I opened it, it was in one of the reprints, and she got it for me, and I was on cloud 9. I was so thrilled. I don't remember seeing that one before it was out of print. 32 count Opal Moonlit Waters. And that has my name on it. Under the Sea Fabrics. I picked that up in San Antonio. Oh, it is started. I should probably show you what I stitched. I'm so sorry. Not paying attention. I started with her hair. So that's where I started. And I'm not planning on changing any colors at this point. I might change some of the embellishments though, but not the thread colors. I'll use a called for. American Sampler, Plum Street Samplers. This one is, I think it's 36 count Flax. 36 count R&R Weathered Shingle. And I literally have a line of stitching. So not a huge amount. And I'm not sure why I have green in my needle. Oh well, I'll figure that out. I do like stitching Plum Street samplers, excuse me. Their patterns are nice to read, in case you were ever wondering. This one I have not started. Gaia, Bella Filipina. I'm tempted to start it with Nadine from Nadine X Stitch. not X stitch. When I do, this is 32 count Veldt by Picture This Plus. I haven't pulled the DMC colors to double check my fabric, but I think that'll work really well. This one is a Glendon Place. Chocolate is good. Tiramisu. Hence the chocolate bag. That's the bag I made myself. The colors are not, this has a hint of orange, and the colors, the true colors, do not have that hint. My friends gifted me the pattern, the beads, and the silks. And this is 32 count Truffle by Picture This Plus. And I did just a little bit. This color is almost the same as the fabric, but again, I think it's the lightest brown, or maybe the second lightest brown. When you get the darker browns in there, especially on a mandala like this, you'll be able to see it. And this truffle fabric has a hint of pink, just a slight hint. But I really liked it when I put the colors on it. Not sure exactly what's in here. Oh, that's one I mothballed. This one I sewed for myself. I think all of these I sewed for myself. All through the night, use what talents you possess. I'm using mostly Carrie's Creation cottons instead of the called for colors. And this is Weeks Dye Works Putty. I believe it's a 36 count. It's possible it's a 40 count, but I think it's a 36. And there, I started the birds and then the center. This is not the Zweigart based weeks. I like the Zweigart based weeks for the lower counts, but again, this is either 36 or 40. I'm pretty sure it's 36. I don't mind the weeks when it's the higher counts, whether it's Zweigart or not. But the lower counts, yeah, I love the colors of their fabric, but I don't like that dish rag feel. And I have stitched on the lower counts when I had to. This one is by Ink Circles, Baroque. I'm stitching it in a blue, not the called for. What is the called for? Creme Brulee is the fabric called for. Northern Lights, Gloriana. One thing I like about Ink Circles is she tells you how many stitches are in her designs. This has 28,400 stitches. That way, if you switch your threads, or in that one that I showed in my last parade, excuse me, I plan on doing in beads, you have an idea what you're doing. This is 36 count. This might have been my first 36 count. White Opal. So it's probably one reason I didn't get very far, because it takes a while to get used to a new fabric. And yes, it's got the sparkle. So it has a silk. I'm using Soie Crystal by Karen Collection. Soie Crystal. And I'm using teal is the color. And I made sure to get the same dye lot. I think I bought 4 skeins to do the whole thing. And I'm always doing 1 strand over 2 threads. Let's pull this out here because I keep pulling the wrong thing. What is this? These, I have no clue what they are. Oh, yes, this one. This one is by Teresa Gill Design, and it is Queen Elizabeth II in her coronation gown. She's on Instagram. She has an Etsy store, yes. Teresa Gill, G-I-L. it says it right there. Yeah. So, if I remember, I'll link her Etsy shop. It's a beautiful design. I haven't got very far. It calls for DMC Diamond metallic. I've heard good and not so good things about that. So I need to take this piece to Stitchville and then look at their Petite Treasure braids. And here is the designer with her stitched framed piece. Shannon is my husband, so when I purchased this through PayPal, she thought, I often get called Shannon. That's okay. I didn't get very far because I'm in the section that will require, and again, this was the crazy January challenge, so that's why I didn't get very far, because it's a beautiful piece. And this is 32 count antique white. Jobelan. There are beads on it. It's the size of a mirror. But I just, yeah, I'm going to get back to these because I love her patterns. There's several other ones that she's designed that I'm looking at purchasing. Glendon Place. Plum pudding. Somebody in the WIP Parade showed this. I want to say it was Colette, Highway Stitcher. But maybe it was somebody else. I'm stitching this on 32 count Sprite in the called for silks. Picture this plus. Did not get very far. Just a couple of the center motifs. So, I love the dessert mandalas. I have many of the patterns. I've only finished one, but I have many of the patterns. What is this one? Oh, this one is Aphrodite by Mirabilia. Wouldn't she look good with gray hair and like kind of grayish? So she's an older mermaid. I think she would look beautiful. Maybe her skin kind of a whiter. I don't know. It's a weird idea I had. Sea God, Opalescent, 32 count, Under the Sea Fabrics. And Kenny from Kenny Stitches, and I had the same idea on the fabric for this particular piece. I have had the pleasure of meeting Kenny a couple of times. He's a very nice man. And you could see some of the sparkle on that black, gray. So, yep, those blues are beautiful. Beautiful. And that, I think I purchased that one in Cincinnati. Or I made that one, I can't remember. It's possible I made that one. I do have all of the beads for her. Usually I wait, but I have them for her. This bag I made. It's the envelope style, so the back is upside down, but it's okay. I don't mind. These were in the Just Cross Stitch magazine. (2016) or 2015. Trying to find a date. I'm sorry, this is April and June of 2015. Teacup Herbs. So this one is basil and sage, and the others were thyme and dill. I wonder if this one has all four. Yes, this one has all four pictured. Right there. So they're all the same size. I've changed what I am doing in my kitchen, so I wouldn't put them back in there, but they're beautiful pieces. And I started these for the Crazy January Challenge and really haven't gotten back to them. I really should. They're all on 28 count antique white Lugana. And I don't know which cup this is. Each cup has a different design. but the borders are all the same. So you could tell which days I had more time. And actually, this one is Time. Thyme. So that's what that one is. And then here's the other one. If you would stitch this and you're doing the border, do it the Victorian cross way, meaning you finish each cross as you go, because then you won't see the threads being carried. And once you get that basic pattern, you can just go with it. You don't even have to look at the pattern. They're nice pieces. It's DMC. I just need to get back to it. Oh, this one, Summer House Stitch Works. Christmas Tidings. I stopped doing these because I got off on my count. Christmas Tidings. And I want to stitch all 4 or 5 of them. I can't remember how many there are. I think there's 5. And I started, this is just 32 count Twilight Blue. And I started, and I got off on my count somewhere. And so much so I'm going to have to scrap this piece and work on the other portion. It doesn't take very many fibers. I think there's only 3 colors, maybe 2, at least 3. So I'm going to get back to that one. Bag I sewed, because it has the Very Hungry Caterpillar, one of my favorite childhood books and one of my favorite books to read to my children. Lily, Nora Corbett. I started her in San Antonio in 2018. This one is 32 count Fiberlicious. Every leaf has a flower. Every leaf is a flower. I thought I had the tag in here. Sorry, I don't have the tag in here anymore, but it's beautiful. But again, at a retreat, you usually are talking so much, and I met so many fabulous people at that retreat in San Antonio. I didn't get a whole lot of stitching done. This one made myself. I made several bags using this fabric. This one is Lady of Mystery, Mirabilia. I am stitching her in this color dress. 32 count Frozen Fractals, hand dyed by Stephanie. And here's where I'm at. There's a lot of that dress. And I can't remember the color. It's like 915 or something like that. A lot. But it's a beautiful piece. I've seen this stitched, and I saw it stitched in a green conversion. Green is my favorite color. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. This one is also a Brenda Keys, not started. When it's started, it'll be on Winter Moon, 36 count. It is called Sweet Humility. That's just beautiful. Again, at least the ones I have looked at, definitely the ones I've purchased, are charted for DMC. And you could change it if you want, but this bag has what in it? Oh, Lady Liberty, Brenda Gervais with the needle and thread. She is on 36 count Aged Saffron, Dames of the Needle. I purchased this in Comfort, Texas at the Tinsmith's Wife. It's a cute shop. It's worth the drive in my opinion. And they have a cafe there. Hi Cafe, H-I-G-H. That's good food too. So that's where I'm at. I got off on my count in this skirt here. I am not necessarily using the called for colors, but I am using over-dyed cottons. Maybe in July I should just do a Liberty month or something. This is Buzz Off. I've already finished Eat Crow. Plum Street Samplers, excuse me, not samplery. And this will be on 36 count cream. So this is the same fabric that I stitched Buzz Off on. And between these two patterns, so here's Buzz Off, which I finished. Between these two patterns, this one has one extra color, otherwise all the colors are the same. I'm using the DMC except for this orange, which is copper, colonial copper. Other than that, I'm using the DMC because you can really tell the variegation there. And on here, it was in the bee scap and maybe a flower or two. But yeah, these are really cute. And they came out together. She released them together. So I gotta stitch it and then display them together. Another one. This one is, this one is by Meridian Designs. Padawan Peacock Pheasant by Karen. And I've purchased this Swarovski crystal already. Most of this is DMC. There are some metallics probably in this one too. I've stitched her Dreamweaver Rapture. It's not FFO'd, but it is up there hanging. Arctic, 32 count, picture this plus, not very far. Thought this was part of a challenge where I only worked on it for like a day. And again, I figured out those challenges aren't for me. I gotta work on something for a few days, if not longer. This one is by Charting Creations. It is Tribal Wolf Silhouette. I'm trying to get the cover page. I got Riker on it. I should. It's for my husband. This is Clementine Swag Art, and I'm using wildflowers for the overall thread, just one strand over two threads. This is 32 count Lugana. And then my husband's eyes are blue, so I plan on making the wolf's eyes blue. I haven't chosen blue yet. Using wildflowers, sable? Nope, Black Forest. And that one I mothballed. That one is nothing, just extra stuff. So I think that is all of my WIPs. If you include the ones for Magical Stitches, which I'm storing right there, the ones I want to stitch this year. So I will put everything in the description box below. Hopefully this works and there's no issues and I don't have to do this 3 times. But I hope that you like the WIP Parade and I might have enabled you. I know the other WIP Parades have definitely enabled me. But I gotta clean this up and I will talk to you guys probably in the next couple weeks with regular video. So I hope you enjoy your stitching. Thank you for subscribing, thumbs up, all the things. It's a great community. Love to you all.